Welcome to episode 16 of Discount Storytime. Previously, Tales from the Scamverse. This week's story is The Three Little Pigs' Lost Epilogue. A house made of straw? Or sticks? Or bricks? Or dark lies? Today's sponsor is St. Tetanus Medical Center. Of all the things we spread, kindness is first. And now, on with the show. Three Little Pigs, The Lost Epilogue. For anyone out there not familiar with the Three Little Pigs, here's the rundown. Three little pigs left their mother's home to go build their own damn houses. The first pig was lazy and made his house of straw. The second was also lazy and built his house of sticks. Finally, the third little pig was industrious and did the work to have a house of bricks. Along came a wolf who wanted to eat the little pigs. The wolf easily blew down the straw and stick houses, and those pigs barely escaped to the brick house. The wolf couldn't blow down the brick house and tried climbing down the chimney, but the third pig made a fire and a large pot of boiling water. The wolf fell into the pot, and the pigs cooked and ate him. For the longest time, that was the end of the story. But not anymore. Fortunately for you, dear listener, a long-lost epilogue has been found in a remote mountain cabin. The authenticity has been verified and whatever, and you are the first to hear it. This kind of dedication is what you'll find on Discount Storytime. So now, I proudly read to you The Three Little Pigs' Epilogue. 1 year later. Sticks Pig and Straw Pig rebuilt their homes, with bricks this time. But they didn't just rebuild their homes. They built a whole western town named Pig Gully, complete with a general store, schoolhouse, sheriff's office, a church, and of course a local saloon. And the saloon is where Sticks Pig, Straw Pig, and Sheriff Bricks Pig can be found today, in the darkest corner of the saloon, whispering and drinking. They don't notice the sound of a Camaro parking outside, or the sound of a horse approaching. Old-timey Piano Pig stops playing when the saloon door bursts open. In the doorway stands Little Wolf, tall, young, and mean, with a cowboy hat and a six-shooter at his side. He sniffs the air with his little wolfy muscle, then says, "I'm looking for the no-good, yellow-bellied coward that killed my paw." He holds up a severed, scarred, and burned wolf paw. The bartender, Barkeep Pig, says, "Listen, mister, this here's a respectable establishment, and I don't want no trouble from you." Little Wolf side-eyes Barkeep Pig and says, "Ain't gonna be no trouble, so long as my paw's killer gives himself up. Was it you?" Little Wolf draws his six-shooter. Barkeep Pig reflexively raises his two little piggy hooves in the air. "Oh, shucks no, mister, and I suggest you don't draw your gun unless you intend to use it. And if you intend to use it, maybe you shouldn't be outnumbered and whatnot." Barkeep Pig nods his piggy snout over to the three little pigs in the dark corner, all with guns trained on Little Wolf. Brick Pig, clearly the leader, speaks.
"Drop your gun. All nice and easy there, son. Ain't no reason for bloodshed."
Little Wolf sees the sheriff's badge on Brick's Pig and spits on the ground. "So that's how it is it? Going around murdering innocent wolves, then covering it up all 'cause you think you're the law."
"Them kind of words can get a fella hurt here in Pig Gully, especially without any proof. Maybe you need to cool off in a cell before you or anyone gets hurt."
Little Wolf hears the sound of a shotgun cocking. Barkeep Pig points his shotgun and calmly says,
"Now, mister, please put away your gun. I don't want nobody hurt in my saloon."
With more respect for Barkeep than the sheriff, Little Wolf holsters his revolver and puts up his paws. In the sheriff's office, Sheriff Brick's Pig is sitting behind his desk, boots up, reading a copy of Piggly Times. Little Wolf stands in the jail cell, gripping the bars and shooting daggers at Bricks. "What'd you do to my paw?" snarls Little Wolf. Without looking from his paper, Bricks says,
"You know, don't bother me. Besides, it don't matter much in a few hours anyway. It's almost night time."
"What did you do to my paw?" Brick's beady eyes peer from over the top of the newspaper. They squint in a smile, and he says,
"We ate him with fava beans and a nice Chianti. Now, let me ask you something. How did you get his paw?"
"Little bird flew it to me. Same one that brought me this note." Little Wolf pulls out a small paper. At this, Brick's Pig puts down his newspaper and asks,
"What note?"
Little Wolf reads,
"My dearest son, I send you this message in haste before entry into the Piggy's brick house, for I shan't have much time left. As you know, I am now traveling to Smith-Havenshire University, where I begin the position of Professor of the Occult. Once settled with appropriate housing, I will send for your mother and you. Upon my journey, I have uncovered a foul darkness here in our land. 3 pigs have settled upon domicile, and I stopped to have a friendly chat and ask about nearby lodging for a weary traveler as evening drew nigh. The first of the pigs, named Straw, I believe, pointed me towards a nearby village, and that's when I saw it. Oh, dreadful discovery! Upon his little piggy hoof, I saw tattooed the dark symbol of the demonic death cult of Pigsonality. He must have seen the recognition and horror in my eyes, for he alarmed and squealed, 'Die, infidel!' and he threw his pitchfork at me. By fortune's grace, I ducked just in time. I have dedicated my career to the academic study of the occult, never expecting to be killed for it, or worse, forced to take the life of another. But the demonic death cult of Pigsonality is resurfaced from its hellish prison, to which they were rightly bound. It is not with pride, but with woeful disgust towards this act I must perform. These ghoulish cultists cannot be allowed to survive. If they complete the ritual, I shudder to think of the hell unleashed. I pursued this oinky demon, only for him to shelter in a straw abode. I called to him, 'Little pig, let me in.'"
Yes, I know. I was there, you idiot. Your paw stuck his wolfy muzzle around where he shouldn't. He deserved what he got. You shouldn't have come here. But perhaps we can make use of you after all. I was planning to sacrifice one of our villagers tonight, but you'll save me that trouble. Did your paw ever tell you about the ritual?"
Brick's Pig reaches into his desk drawer and holds up a large amulet on a golden chain. Blood-stained carved bone with an image of a large boar sitting on a throne made of wolf skulls.
"The one who wears the unholy amulet of Arma Piggin is granted eternal power over all life."
Brick's Piggy puts it on, stands up, and dons a black cultist robe.
"Every ritual needs a sacrifice. I would offer you a last meal, but—"
And he walks out. In a few minutes, Sticks and Straw, now wearing cultist robes, come in and get Wolf. They drag him to a bonfire set up in the town square. The townfolk of Pig Gully stand around wearing black robes and holding torches. Their piggy eyes are clouded, as if in a trance. Sticks and straw tie Little Wolf to a wooden post in the bonfire stack. Then they pick up gas canisters and douse the wood pile and Little Wolf. In one swift movement, all the piggy villagers snap their eyes on Little Wolf, who can feel the heat from both the torches and the crowd's malicious stare. Little Wolf is stuck with no way out. And now, a word from today's sponsor.
When you walk, or probably hobble or something, into St. Tetanus Medical Center, you don't just enter as a number, but you're also a revenue stream. And we at St. Tetanus value that. At St. Tetanus, we apply cutting-edge science to cutting corners. And I'm proud to announce the opening of the new St. Tetanus Center for Surgical Excellence and Crematorium. Our new surgical center is capable of billing up to 300 surgeries per day, and our dedicated team of surgery providers can't wait to see you and your inside parts. Call St. Tetanus Medical Center today to make an appointment. Don't delay, those arteries aren't going to nick themselves. St. Tetanus Medical Center.
Copayment is due at the time of service. Tipping is not required but encouraged.
Welcome back. Where were we? Oh yeah. In one swift movement, all the piggy villagers snap their eyes on Little Wolf, who can feel the heat from both the torches and the crowd's malicious stare. Little Wolf is stuck with no way out. His mind races. Help me, Paul. Help me, Paul. Paul, that's it. He's able to reach into his back pocket and pull out his paw's paw. He uses the sharp claws to cut away at the rope bindings. Brick's pig walks up to Little Wolf.
You will not see my powerful glory, Little Wolf, for the ritual requires a burnt sacrifice. Funny how both you and your father will die by our fires. Poetic, really.
You're sick.
I will be a god.
Brick's pig starts chanting a dark spell in pig Latin, and then nods to Stick's pig and Straw pig. As soon as they get close enough to start the bonfire, Little Wolf jumps onto Straw pig, drawing on the element of surprise to avoid the torch and land a knockout punch. Straw pig, caught off guard and off balance, falls down on the fire and drops the torch on himself. He is immediately engulfed in flames, and the squeals are horrible. Little Wolf dashes away from the blaze. As he is covered in gasoline, he makes a run towards Brick's pig, but he's gone. Behind him, he hears the sound of a chainsaw starting. Seriously? Little Wolf looks back to see the silhouette of Stick's pig standing in front of the blazing bonfire, wriggling back and forth, dancing wildly while holding the chainsaw above his head. Not daring to get close to the fire or the chainsaw, Little Wolf looks around for a weapon. He sees a pitchfork and uses all his might to throw it at Stick's pig, hoping to at least force him away. But Stick's pig deftly slices the flying pitchfork in half with his chainsaw. Well, thinks Little Wolf, and runs away, with Stick's pig on his heels. Little Wolf finds an empty office building without windows and runs in, locking the wooden door behind him. Stick's pig screams through the door.
Little Wolf, let me in.
As he scans for another weapon, a loud buzz is heard as the chainsaw bears down on the wooden door.
Your father's meat tasted gamey. Probably from all that fear. Are you afraid, little wolf? Will your meat taste gamey too?
You're psychotic. You're a psychotic little piggy. Sticks Pig cackles madly as the tip of the chainsaw blade cuts through the door. Little Wolf looks around and finds an old mop, a bucket, desks, desk lamps, and chairs. Nothing that can stand up to a chainsaw-wielding maniac. What's he gonna do, mop the pig? He steps back as the chainsaw tears through more of the door. Pretty soon, Sticks Pig will be able to reach through and unlock it. As Little Wolf steps backward, his heel kicks at the mop bucket and water sloshes out. Little Wolf looks at the crack under the door, large enough to see the shadow of hooves dancing excitedly. He grabs the mop bucket and sloshes the water on the floor in front of the door crack, making sure enough water slides under to cover the other side.
Hey, you got my hooves wet, idiot! Rude, R-U-D, rude!
Little Wolf wastes no time removing the shades from the 2 desk lamps, plugging them into an outlet by the front door, and throwing the lamps into the puddle. The bulbs break and sparks fly. Sticks Pig screams from the other end of the door. Little Wolf looks through the hole in the door and sees Sticks Pig convulsing and trying to remain upright. The electricity forces his arms to flex towards his face and chest, bringing the chainsaw blade along.
No!
Grisly spluttering and grinding sounds fill the air. Then blood sprays through every hole and crack in the door. Then a thud. Then silence. Little Wolf unplugs the lamps and steps outside. The chainsaw sliced Stick Pig's head nearly in 2. Oozing brain and clotted blood dribble out as a dilated eye stares into nothingness. 2 down, 1 to go, thinks Little Wolf, and he walks back into town. Little Wolf walks back towards the bonfire. Bricks Pig shoots from his space gun, and a laser shot whizzes by. He dives for cover behind the parked Camaro. Bricks Pig screams.
I'll destroy you.
How? Hiding? Again? Like you hid from my paw in your brick house? You're a coward, Bricks.
I may be a coward, but I am a coward that lives to fight another day. Unlike you. You killed my brother.
Brothers. Plural. Bricks Pig screams in rage and fires a spray of laser beams from his space gun. They hit the Camaro's hood. Little Wolf scans the laser's trajectory. Bricks Pig is shooting from the top of the church steeple. Little Wolf scrambles to the church building when another series of shots pepper the ground around him. But Little Wolf doesn't stop. Inside the church, it's dark and damp, and clearly something is not right. What had once been a beautiful white stone interior is now covered in symbols and strange sentences written in red paint? Although Little Wolf doubts it was red paint. He walks halfway up the rows of pews when something stirs above. A dark mass floats in the shadows of the ceiling, and 2 little red dots appear. Bricks Pig comes into view as he floats downward, sneering.
Here is the church. Here is the steeple. Look inside and die.
He points his stubby piggy hooves at Little Wolf, and a beam of fiendish red energy flies out. Little Wolf dodges just in time, and the beam explodes a pew.
You can't stop me. I'm invincible. I only needed 1 burnt sacrifice. It didn't have to be you. My brother died, giving me the power to which I am entitled. I'm the smart one. I'm the one who built the house of bricks. I'm the one who listens to podcasts. I deserve to rule over the world. I deserve the power.
Little Wolf feels his father's paw get very warm. He pulls it out and it starts glowing. But not the whole paw. Only a branded series of runes glow with white-hot light. Brick's Pig's glowing red eyes widen, showing genuine fear for the first time. He loses his concentration and falls to the ground.
No, how is that possible? Those runes, only those runes can be used against me if someone like...
Little Wolf slowly grins. Like a professor of occultism?
I needed those from time to time, but I didn't want anyone else to see them, so I hid them.
Yeah, in your brick house? In your fireplace?
Nobody could see them. They were embossed.
On the inside of a large pot of boiling water? The air crackles with good magic as the runes grow brighter and brighter. The branded paw now fills the church with white light and pulls Little Wolf towards Brick's Pig.
No, it cannot be. I am a piggy god.
A light beam bursts from the paw towards Brick's Pig, who shoots out another red beam from his little hoof. The two beams meet in the middle perfectly to offset each other, because that's required for these types of scenes now, apparently. This lasts as long as it needs to for you listeners to feel that you're getting your money's worth. Then the white light surges into Brick's Pig, who glows from the inside and screams,
Not by the hair of my chinny.
Pig blood and tissue sprays everywhere, and the room goes dark and silent. Little Wolf collapses on a nearby pew. Thanks, Paw. The paw tugs away from Little Wolf's grip and floats up into the air. From far away, but still close by, he hears his father's voice.
I'm proud of you, son. You finished what I couldn't. Now my wolfy soul can be at peace. I love you.
The paw turns to ashes and gently floats down to the ground. I love you too, Paw. Little Wolf finds a nearby urn, dumps it out, and brushes in his father's ashes. Exhausted and covered in pig's blood, Little Wolf steps outside. The sun is coming up as the last of the bonfire burns down to ash. Townsfolk are coming out of their trances and wandering around the town square asking, What the fuck? They bring Little Wolf his revolver and cowboy hat from the sheriff's office.
You saved us. Thank you. Will you stay and be our new sheriff?
Little Wolf puts on his hat and holsters his revolver. I'm afraid that ain't my calling. I'm not one to run with the pack. I'm more of a lone guy. He climbs into the saddle of his horse, and his horse slides into the driver's seat of his shot-up Camaro, which is pulled by a tow truck, off towards the rising sun. Epilogue to the epilogue. The townsfolk are all repairing the damage done by the fire and explosions and whatnot, and inside the church a young pig is sweeping up piles of dust and ash when she runs across a piece of jewelry. It's a large amulet on a golden chain. It's carved of blood-stained bone with an image of a large boar sitting on a throne made of wolf skulls. The pig's eyes glow red because, fucking sequels. Congratulations! You are one of the very first to hear the actual epilogue to The Three Little Pigs, exclusively on Discount Storytime. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you're enjoying these episodes, and if you'd like to write to us, you can click above to send a message or email at mail@discountstorytime.com. Our website address is discountstorytime.com, where you can find more episodes. Thank you very much again. I hope you have a wonderful week, and we'll talk to you next week. Take care.